Well, some good news on the BMW S63 engine in my M6 Grand Coupe. Symptoms were misfires down one bank. Now what happened, I set off a cold engine, it was afternoon actually, but first drive of the day, and it's wet and cold here and we live on a hill, so I backed out here, always reverse out. You probably can't tell that much, but it's a fair gradient of a hill. It's not crazy, but anyway, I backed out, but there was a car coming, so when I straightened up, I put my foot down a bit and set off kind of abruptly. Wheel hop. It's wet, it's wet. It's a dual clutch transmission that isn't the smoothest at engaging the clutches from standstill anyway. So yeah, a bit of a bouncy, abrupt up the hill. It misfired straight away, and it was misfiring. Oh shit, okay, no worries. Well, I know that when this car misfires, say due to plug gaps or whatever, or faulty coil, it disables that cylinder. You have to clear the codes usually. Switch off and back on isn't adequate a lot of the time. So kind of, no worries. I've got a decent code reader like in the car all the time. So I pulled in up here, and first of all, it didn't show a particular cylinder, which was like, okay, and it didn't clear. I've been trying everything since then. It wasn't showing one particular cylinder. It's showing multiple cylinders, but anyway, and at that point I wasn't super clear in my mind which bank it was. I couldn't remember the cylinder number in. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. But I wasn't that clear in my head. And then you got DME1, DME2, or just DME and DME2. I think that's how it works. So I wasn't super clear in my mind. I was going to sit down and bring up the docs to see what was what. So what did I do? Well, the first thing I did is I pulled off the fuel feed hose from the tank. This comes from the tank lift pump. Put a rubber hose on the end of it. I ran the pump from an app. I've got, what is it, X-Tool AnyScan Plus is what I'm using. I've got ISTA, and I've got BIMA code and BIMA link and all that stuff. But that AnyScan is pretty good. Kind of like it. So I did that to see if there was like water in the fuel or something like that. So I filled a clear 5-litre container. It looked fine to me. So that was that. I wasn't concerned about the fuel anymore. Plus I'd used a quarter of a tank of that fuel anyway, and it was 99 RON. Tesco, I know it's a supermarket, but they sell the 99 RON stuff, which is like super unleaded. So then I looked into it a bit more, and I was seeing on this bank that the fuel rail was only showing about 100 psi, and it said it expected it to be 800. On this bank it was saying 800, and actually 800. Expected 800, actually 800. So straight away, it's like, okay, it's a fuel pump, no probs, and I've got 2 of them. It's a V8, yeah, 2 banks. So I swapped the pumps, or so I thought I did, and the problem didn't move. So, cut a long story short, it is the fuel pump. Wow, that's loud. It is the fuel pump. I've got one coming. I have to wait till Tuesday now. But last night, at the end of everything, at the end of swapping injectors, swapping the fuel rail pressure sensor at the end, the only thing I hadn't yet swapped was the ECUs, and I was reluctant to do that because they've got coolant pipes on them, and it's just going to be a bit of a faff. But I could have done it. I think it's those Oka clips, which I do have a load of them actually. Probably. Anyway, last minute yesterday I thought, what if it's the buckets? The bucket's collapsed and it's not driving the pump. Because I realised when you unplug the connector to the pump, it shows that the same. Like when it can't. This is the fuel metering valve, so this is how it tells the pump how much pressure to build, how much to drive it. It's like its regulator, I suppose. I realised that on the good side, you disconnect it, shows the same, expecting 800, only seeing 120 psi or whatever. And then I was faffing around, and I realised when they're both unplugged, it sounds like it's running good. It's clearly in some fallback, low pressure only mode. And I was like, that pump's not, it's got to be that pump. The bucket was fine. This one lifted out dead easily with my finger. This one was a faff to get out, so I was like, there's something going on with the exhaust camshaft lobe or the bucket lifter bucket thing or what, but no, it was all okay. So then I thought, either what if I got confused and the very first thing I did, I even priced up the pumps, £205. What if I meant to swap them, but I got confused and didn't swap them, you know, I mismatched them when I took them out, or I lost track of the fault codes, the fuel rail pressures of DME1 and DME2. Maybe when I first looked, it was showing it on DME1, and then later it showing it on DME2, and as I wasn't at that point fully clear where my problem side was, but basically I didn't write stuff down. I should have written stuff down. I'm now super confident it's the fuel pump because I swapped them last night, and full pressure on this side, 800 psi, 1000 psi, 1200 psi, whatever. And this side now, bank one, you know, it's stuck as though the pump's not running. When you plug it in, it starts making the horrible noise that they make. So it's doing something, but it's not making any pressure. So I've got so many tools now: fuel injector pullers, head gasket. I started to think, I'll tell you why I thought head gasket, right? I think this is a tank ventilation valve, I'm not quite sure, but I'd unplugged this to get it out of the way, and I'd not fully closed it. I just sat it in there, and after it warmed up, I was in this area and I was hearing sort of popping. It sounded like a blowing exhaust, and there's a little bit of milkiness under the oil cap, but then it's cold here. It's probably just condensation, but putting those things together, this what sounded like blowing around here, I thought, oh shit, you know, is this a head gasket or something? Anyway, it turns out that blowing popping that I was hearing was this valve, which I think is a tank ventilation valve, but I'm not sure. I did get a fault code relating to tank ventilation, so I figured that must be what it is. And I now realise you do have like exhaust pressure in that manifold pressure or something. Basically it's pop 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 in this pipe. But anyway, yeah, so I bought the exhaust gas leak protector kit. Showed all good, didn't go yellow. I bought a set of brake disc and pads for the 20-year-old Honda Jazz because I thought I was going to be driving that for the next 6 months. Needs MOT, tax, insurance, but it's fine. I quite enjoy that car. I've got a lot of tools now. Another compression tester, because it turned out that the one that I had doesn't fit 12mm spark plug sockets holes. So yeah, man, so many more tools, but hey, it's good. So yeah, that's it. That was my problem. I mean, I'm a bit miffed because it was the second thing I checked after the fuel quality, and I screwed up checking it. But hey, at least I know a bit more about the car. I know how to do the injectors. Oh, I've got an ultrasonic cleaner now as well, but I'm rebuilding the Mrs. N57 diesel anyway, which is what's left of the X4. It's the crankshaft's been in for machining. Just need, to be honest, driving that was going to motivate me to get that done more quickly, so oh well, never mind. You see the bits everywhere. I mean, this is nothing. We've got sheds full of headlights, bumpers, crash bars, all that sort of stuff. But yeah, more tools. Got another radiator pressure tester kit that I ordered because I realised that the universal kit that I've got, which is only an 18-piece one, doesn't fit this. Again, when I was thinking head gasket, I wanted to test that, so it's not even arrived yet, the 28-piece kit. But hey, I'll use it one day. So yeah, lesson learned there, I suppose. Write shit down. I've lost quite a lot of power steering fluid by having this on its side. I need to remember to replenish that. And a couple of screws have ended up on the under tray. That's what I'm most miffed about, to be honest, because the under tray on this is freaking massive. It's a pain in the arse. But yeah, I've got to go searching for nuts and bolts on there. But it's good news, because at first I thought, head gasket, I'm going to have to park this car out or something. I was weighing up what I'd get for the wheels, the brakes, the turbos, you know, all that sort of stuff. And then I started to come around to the idea of having a head skimmed, or cracked head or whatever, having a head, buying another head, or maybe having it skimmed and doing that job after I'd done that job. So we're talking like, start it summer, goes on for 6 months, you know. But yeah, I was coming around to the idea of another big project, I suppose, but and I couldn't buy another nice car while the graveyard of cars is getting bigger, so I would have just driven that. It's a cool car, that. It's got a CVT transmission, which is brilliant. It's great. It's like a torque converter all the way. I like it. Just the seats are a little bit uncomfortable on my back. Bit of a weird shaped seats. I bought a Civic seat to put in it, but I haven't bothered. It's not a direct fit. So I've had a Civic seat in a shed for 2 years now. Right, anyway, that's that. So yeah. Yeah, moral of the story, I don't know, write stuff down. Yeah. Alright, cheers.